Today we're going to talk with the producer of Tyler Oakley and Corey Cool's podcast called Psychobabble. And we're going to talk about what you guys as creators, how you can leverage a podcast of your own maybe to grow your own audience and how that really fits into your audience development stuff. We're going to talk about that. It's coming up right after this. Hey guys, my name is Tim Schmoyer, and this is Tim Street. Welcome. Thanks for hanging out with us today.
Thanks for letting me be here.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. So I've been thinking about starting a podcast of my own as a way to reach new people, but I've never done the whole podcasting thing. Wondering what advice and tips you have, one, for what are the advantages that podcasting has for audience growth as a YouTuber, but then two, how we might get started with that, something you're interested in.
Sure, yeah. I think as a YouTuber, there's a great opportunity with podcasting, especially audio podcasting. I mean, you can do video podcasting as well, but with audio podcasting, it's a very intimate kind of media.
Okay.
To where you can get right into the ears of your audience. And so they're able to consume your podcast while they're exercising, while they're commuting. They can get that content in places that they can't get content by watching a video.
Yeah, right.
And so it's a huge opportunity for you to share something that might take a little bit longer. So say you want to dive deeper into a subject that you cover, it's a great way to do that because, a lot of times YouTube videos seem to work better when they're shorter. I'm not saying always,
right.
but sometimes they work better when they're shorter. Whereas podcast, the average commute time is around 20-30 minutes.
Yeah.
The average exercise time is
around
around
as a kid or driving to work or whatever.
Yeah. So it's a great way to have them spend some time with you and to get your messaging across, to get your entertainment across, and really engage them in something that is going to take a little bit longer.
So how would you create a podcast that complements your channel? I mean, in a way that's actually valuable that they would want to subscribe on iTunes.
Sure. I mean, it really depends on what your audience wants and what their needs are. But, whether it's entertainment or a how-to or something like that, if there's something that you just don't have enough time to talk about on your YouTube channel, that's a great thing to explore.
Okay.
Or if there's something that you feel is special, some kind of special treat. One of the things that Tyler and Corey do, they'll talk way more about gossip and what's going on at award shows, and they talk more about their background and more about themselves. So they'll share things that they don't share on YouTube. They'll dive into a little bit deeper in Psychobabble.
Is it easier to do that on a podcast because it's a little more like long-form content? A little bit, is that easier on a podcast to do than if you're going to make like a 30-minute video about it?
I think making an audio podcast is always easier than making a video.
Probably. You don't have to get dressed up.
And and the lights and the camera costs are a lot cheaper too.
Yeah.
If you're just doing audio.
Right.
So
yeah.
I think that as we get more cars that interface with our phones and more cars that have podcasting built into it, the name may change.
Right.
It could just be audio. Oh, I listen to a radio show or an audio show on demand. But we're getting more used to getting our content when and where we want it.
Right.
And audio is a great way. The other thing is that if you're a YouTuber and you wanted to start something new and you weren't sure about how to do it on YouTube yet, an audio podcast is a great way to build an audience from scratch.
Oh, okay.
It's a great way to experiment. The BBC, they do a lot of their pilots on radio first, and then if it works out well on radio and they know what the characters are, then they take it to television.
Okay.
And so I think that's a really great place to experiment and play. And podcasting's getting a lot easier to do than it was 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
You used to have to roll your own RSS feed.
Yeah, now
I don't even know what that means.
Services that just do that for you, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and so now it's all ready to do, and you just need to record it and upload it.
Okay. So is it a good idea or a bad idea to kind of take it right on your YouTube channel and put it sounds like put into a podcast. It sounds like what you're saying is the podcast needs to complement the channel, not necessarily just copy it, right?
Yeah, I think there's some interesting strategy to play with here, and it's still early days, so it could work out different ways, but I would have the content on your audio podcast be different.
Okay.
I also, if you have the ability to shoot video while you're recording your audio podcast, I would take a section of that video, let's say the first 2 minutes of that video, and make that available on your YouTube channel so that it teases people to go check out your audio podcast and subscribe.
So how about like turning like our YouTube videos into a video podcast? The same thing, like just don't take your same YouTube content and put it on, or are you reaching a new, totally different group of people by doing it that way?
It really depends. I think if you're gonna go audio podcast, you should build content that's right for that. Now, there are exceptions to that. You know, like you take CBS Evening News or 60 Minutes. Now, CBS Evening News is on television and 60 Minutes is on television, but CBS Radio makes that available in an audio format. Okay. Now, it's kind of weird that you're listening to a TV show on the radio, but if you're a big 60 Minutes fan and you want to hear what the show's about, you and you're stuck in your car, that's how you're going to consume it. Cool. Yeah. I don't think that works for everybody. Okay. So I'd be hesitant to recommend that to anyone. Okay. But experiment. See, ask your audience. See what they think.
Yeah. Cool. So tips for getting started. If they this sounds awesome, what are the first steps that I do? What should I do first?
Well, you got to have the tools. So you need a good microphone and you need a recording. If you have a Mac, GarageBand records. You can record right to GarageBand. There's some people that they use Google. Was it Google Chat? I'm blanking on what it's
called.
Google
Chat or Skype or something?
Yeah, or Skype. Yeah. And you can record to either one and take the audio out and make an audio podcast of that. But again, a really good microphone. You don't have to spend a lot of money, but just make sure it sounds good and your levels are right. And then once you have that, and you can edit it and create a format. I mean, really thinking about what the show format is and who's the audience that it's going to serve, what are the benefits going to be for them. Yeah. Making sure all of that is in there in an entertaining and informative way, really important to build that out. But from a nuts and bolts, once you have that edited, you've got your file, you're happy with it, you don't have any copyrighted music in it. Yeah. Take that and you're going to have to upload it to a hosting site. Okay. There are ones out there. You can just Google podcast hosting. Two that I would say take a look at. Oh, there's a couple. One is a site called Libsyn to check out. Okay. And the other one is, I was going to say Blueberry, but Todd Cochran's website. Check it out. And you can do hosting there. It's Burberry. And once you have those files hosted, then you want to be able to make sure that you have third-party metrics. Okay.
And both of those services have metrics built in?
They have metrics built in, but it's always a good idea to have something else. Yeah. So there's a company that I consult with, let me say that, called PodTrack. Okay. And it's free. Okay. No obligation. And there are instructions on how to do this, but you install the measurement software into your feed. Okay. And then there's also a survey for your audience. Okay. So you can find out who your listeners are because they'll fill out the survey for you. And then you can also see who's downloading. Yeah. And if you're interested in monetizing, once you have that installed there, we'll be able to see, who's listening, who's downloading, give you brand deals and if any sponsors are interested in sponsoring that.
The next step sounds like is probably to go tell your audience about it.
Well, right? The thing, this is really important. Okay. Most audio podcasts are consumed on iTunes. Okay. So you want to make sure that you get your podcast listed on iTunes. It's free. You're going to have to create
those services help you do that too. That Ellipson and
you can use them, or you can do it direct. I say do it direct so that if something better comes along or you change your mind, you have control.
Easier, yeah. So you just go to the podcasting section of iTunes and find the submit podcast button?
Yeah, exactly. Okay. And there's some information to fill out. You're going to need some artwork. But every Tuesday, there's new music on iTunes. And so a lot of people go to see what the new music is. They go to see what the new books are. And in the process, they stumble across new podcasts.
Okay. So you want to be like new and noteworthy in there and get like a lot of traffic to it as quickly as possible in the beginning?
Absolutely. It's really important when you launch. When you launch, you want to make sure you got 3 episodes in the can, ready to go. Okay. And, when you're, have something that's good, and you send your audience there, the iTunes guys will notice and they'll feature you. And once you're featured, you get a lot of traffic.
Awesome. Yeah. Cool. I know for a lot of us guys, like I just like creating stuff that helps people. I know a lot of you guys do also, and we do that on YouTube, but I do think it makes sense to kind of leverage out and like move out to like other platforms like YouTube or like podcasting and iTunes too. So if they have any questions, like you have any good resources to point them to that I can link up down in the description below, like they can check out quickly to kind of get kickstarted with this.
Yeah, I think, you know, there are a lot of great sites out there. If you just Google podcasting and starting a podcast, there's great videos to watch on YouTube.
Great. Sweet. I really hope some of this has been helpful for you guys. I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Those of you especially who do have a podcast associated with your brand, with your YouTube channel, things that you're doing in your audience development, what lessons have you learned about this? What tips do you have? I'm really looking forward to learning from you guys about all this myself as I'm kind of thinking about this currently. So go down there, comment, help me and other people out. And if you're thinking about this along with me, definitely read the comments that other people are sharing. I know you'll learn a lot from them, just like I do. We have an awesome community here, and they are always making me look good and helping me figure things out. So thank you so much for that. Now, if this is your first time here, I would love to have you subscribe every Wednesday like this to give you guys some YouTube tips, ideas, suggestions, advice, or in this case, another Tim, gets to give them to you. Tomorrow we'll do some YouTube Q&A where I answer a question from you guys, and then on Thursdays we look at the online video news updates, everything that's changing on this platform and the implications it has for us as creators. And I do this because I know a lot of you guys have messages that need to spread, and I know Tim believes that too. And we just really love helping you guys do that so your audiences grow, your YouTube channels grow, and the people who need to hear what you have to say can simply and easily find you and have their lives be changed. So thanks for hanging out with us, and we will see you guys again tomorrow. Bye.